what is going on, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Wanted to basically make this video to let you guys know I did buy into a little bit of this position of Grab. I want to make this video as quick as possible to kind of give you guys the reasoning as to why I did it, how I did the research, and why maybe you should buy into it as well. So number one, if we come into here, the company itself on a chart basis has been doing relatively well over the last year. Like, it's definitely went up. And if we go to institutional holders, a lot of them all bought kind of at the same time, that $3.60 time frame. So they're all pretty much up. Now, I guess you could say if we look at the numbers itself down here and go to annually, their numbers keep rising essentially every single year. And if you look at their cash and debt position just as a whole, they're pretty strong, right? They don't have that much debt. I think they have more than 5.68. I looked somewhere else, but in compared to their liabilities or debt, it's not that high. So definitely a good sign. A lot of cash. Net income also is going up, as we can see, in a massive negative each year, and it's going up. Now, to kind of summarize this for you guys as quick as possible, again, I did a very small buy-in. I think over time I'm going to keep buying more and more and more. But how I do my research, and I know this might be, I don't live in Southeast Asia, which is what this app is for, and it's essentially an Uber Eats / a bunch of different things all in one in Asia. One thing I like to do when I look into stocks is, one thing I like to do when I look into anything I'm interested in, whether that's not even investments, just anything in general, like if I am looking for a new restaurant or whatever it might be, I go on Reddit. And as we all know, Reddit is probably the most unbiased opinion in terms of, I would say, pretty much anything you can think of. Like, most people are telling the truth on Reddit. They're not going on Reddit to give a Google review. It's like straight to the point in what it is. So I was just curious, is Grab a good app for the people that use it in Asia? Because I'm not from Asia, right? I don't live in Asia. I live in the States. So if we come in here, right up in here, I found this. Can't recommend Grab enough. Yes, Grab is good for getting around, for taxis, blah, blah, blah. Grab is amazing. Like, all this. Is Grab a poorly run company? You can click something like this, right, and see what people are saying. I use all of them, depends on the city. Grab is fine. I see no problems with Grab. It's easy to use. Just because you don't like the app, it doesn't mean it's a poorly run company. Grab is awesome. Just nothing but great reviews. I was just in the US and had a bunch of issues with Uber that I never experienced with Grab. And mind you, also keep in mind, like, this is the Southeast Asian market. That's a pretty big market, right? Like, there's a lot of people there as well. So that's another thing to keep in mind. It's just you. So, like, if this was a horrible company in terms of consumers using it, you probably wouldn't see people. Like, people are pretty honest on Reddit. I feel like if I go on Reddit and I, ask a question or kind of just like go in there and say what I want to say, people aren't going to lie. Like, people aren't going to just be like, no. Maybe one person might, but if it's consistently 10, 20 people, they're not usually going to lie. So we can go to tools. Let's do in the last year. Okay, so like, as we're seeing, like, every single thing, Grab is great. You have no clue what it was like before, and their food delivery works far better than Uber Eats in the state. Grab is kind of strict when it comes to safety. So again, all of these things, when you look at all of these things, that's really all you need to understand, right? How is the company doing, just as a whole, from a consumer standpoint, from the people that are actually making Grab money. How are they? What do they think of the app? Again, you want to look at that. That helps significantly. And then again, you just want to look at the numbers of the company, if they are steadily growing and growing and growing. So looks like my audio cut out, but what I was saying was if you come into the financials of the company, if we ask the question, why has the stock went up, 50% in the last 6 months after the April drop, just like every other stock dropped, all we have to do is just come down to financials. So annually, as we can see, absolutely cooked, losing a bunch of money. Pretty sure they went public in 2021. And the stock was $15 or $16. Now, if we come to quarterly, since you can't see this year's numbers, again, not profitable in June, in September, hitting profitability, December, March, and then June. So as long as they can increase their net margin as a business, just as a whole, just keep making more money. And like we talked about previously, understanding where their consumers stand, right? It's a Southeast Asian company. Obviously, buying power is less, but that also comes with lower prices within the app. And another thing to keep in mind is if we look up Southeast Asia population, there's 700 million people. That's double of the US. So even if we say half of Southeast Asia wouldn't even need the app or whatever it might be, they still have the same, really you could say, addressable market as the US, right? As something like Uber, as something like Uber Eats, Lyft, something of that nature, but they just have more things going on within their app. So I think as time goes on, in my personal opinion, probably going to pass $10, probably going to go further than that. I think as long as they just continuously increase these numbers, which as we can see, they've done it every single year, and now they're actually making money, the stock is going to go crazy. I think it's going to continuously go up. But let me know in the comments if I missed anything, because again, I could be wrong with these investments. I don't want to let you guys know, buy it just because I posted it. Let me know if you have any different opinions that might differ from mine, because I'd love to hear it. So yeah, thank you for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys for the next one. Peace.